besides Ethereum and Bitcoin, what other currencies would you be looking to invest in, cryptocurrencies, and what do you think are the most promising ones?
I think keep it about 65 to 80% in the top 10. Yeah. Watch those that come into the top 25 that are fast movers. So as close as you could do your own version of an index tracker, keep buying into the ones that are coming into the top zone. It takes some of the risk away of going right down and getting into really speculative ICOs. Many people are just having a go. Anything ICOs, they'll just throw, on a hit and miss basis. I think that's dangerous. And I would say you want to hold the top 10 with 65% and then maybe even 80% in the top 20. So any 20% is ICOs, that's okay. Then you can have a little punt in essence with that. But so the majors. Reasons: liquidity, available on many exchanges, proper volume, proper spreads, also potential for acceptance for actual use. So, you can buy things with Bitcoin. You're starting to be able to do with Ethereum. So, practicality. You would want to see future plans for that to be the case in your coin if it isn't. So, it's getting proliferated and slightly less volatile. So, you remember that thing about emotionality. It doesn't help if something goes up 10,000 times if it does so in a manner that you can't stay in. So, put an amount in that you can afford to lose and hodl it and leave it if you're going the really spec things. On the bigger sums, you probably don't want the most volatile coin. And you want good news flow where there's proper PR departments that are talking about what the business is doing and achieving.
So if I've got £1,000 and I want to put it into a Bitcoin that in 5 years could make me £10,000, is that possible?
I think it's certainly possible. Would it be a nice, comfortable journey in the process to getting there? No, it could halve first and then quadruple. And that's the challenge you face. So this is why, in some senses, it's almost good not to watch. And also to time that purchase. I wouldn't say, as we're speaking right now, while there's this uncertainty, it would be weighed in. I would wait and see if there's any major sell-off first, and then exploit that opportunity. Because we have been slightly precarious. We've had a rocking first half of the year, so they've really, really gone, Bitcoin passed gold at the beginning of this year per ounce, and is now virtually being more than double that. So while gold was sitting at, $1,150, $1,200 to an ounce, you've got Bitcoin at $2,200 an ounce, and it's touched almost 3,000 depending on which exchange you look at. It's been 3,000. So that's significant, and that's all come about quite recently.
That's pretty amazing that you could put £1,000 in and potentially, obviously nobody can foresee what will happen, in 5 years make 10,000 back. That's not a bad place to take a punt or hodl down, as you say.
I think so. I think you could do better yet than that. It could even be conservative. And I don't want to sell sizzle. I just think there's a wall of money that needs to come in. I believe, I'm with a number of asset management companies in the Bitcoin space I'm working with, and there's a belief, and I say belief is a dangerous word, but I would say there's an assessment from my side that could be true, that there's at least $1 trillion that needs to make its way into the crypto realm during the course of 2018. So, that is a 10x on the market caps. Yeah. So that's a lot of money.
Will other cryptocurrencies see a 10,000x gain like Bitcoin?
I think they will. Yeah. Short answer is I think they will. The problem you have is which one. Yeah. And it's the selection. You can try own a little bit of every single one. That means, putting a few £100 out every time a new coin happens. I would think that's a little bit hit and miss. But I think in general that will. And you've got to be prepared to miss the beginning of it. And then when you start to see a shooting star that is continually getting good narrative and climbing the market cap. So I use a market cap table that shows the market cap, and you can watch the relative change per day. It's worth keeping an eye on those that are regularly climbing. That doesn't mean that after they've regularly climbed, they can't exhaust for a while as well. So, but let them get into the top 25 for a bit, and then when they've stabilized and then they start marching towards the top 10, do your research and start asking questions, because that means there's money behind it.
So if we're talking about when to buy, when do I sell it? How will I know that that's time to get out?
We aren't at peak crypto yet for a while. And I think the safest thing is to be in the game. Don't be caught on the sidelines. So don't be I don't call trading, I call it more active investing. So as I say, there's this element of hodl, then there's a soft hodl, and then there's a speculated pot, which can be ICOs and then a bit more active on time frames and patterns. That would be my methodology. So if you have sort of £10,000, which is your crypto pot, you'll have 3, 3, and 3 with a bit of change. For that's how I'd subdivide it, and have a little bit of holdings that you sit tight on, hell or high water. Ones you adjust occasionally. I would suggest quarterly. It's a long time in crypto, and make those the majors as well, and then speculator pots where you can be both active and you can be ICO.
That's exciting because that's quite achievable for people that perhaps are, because we always say with trading, obviously put in what you're prepared to lose.
Yes.
And sometimes it can be overwhelming that there's so many markets in where to play. So whereas the cryptocurrency feels quite niche and quite compact when you're talking about in terms of top 10, and when you're talking about an investment around the size of 1,000, it becomes actually quite accessible and doable for people. So it's really interesting.